I'm Andy.
I'm Jacqueline.
And this is Queer Coffee Talk.
Yeah, where we are queers and we drink coffee and sometimes talk. Sometimes we just sit in silence, though.
Indeed.
Yeah. It's like that song 433 or something.
Ah, yes.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So as you can see, we are in my home studio room. That's why it's covered with what looks like egg crates and so
all sorts of stuff. So
exactly.
Today we're talking about trans milestones.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, the points in our transition that were significant to us for any number of reasons. Like not everyone has the same milestones, but I feel like
and
there's some really significant. There's some that are like a lot of people feel are significant. So
right, exactly, and none of them are a requirement by any means, and they're not linear. But talking about significant milestones for our lives specifically.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like for me, the most significant one, and the hardest was coming out. I would say.
Oh, okay. Okay.
'Cause I come from a background of my home life was very restrictive, and a lot of information was kept from me, and getting to the point of knowing enough to be able to know myself enough to come out was such a journey, and then telling them hey, I'm 3 months on hormones.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean
what was also quite the challenge.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I think the most significant one was actually questioning. Honestly, none of it would have happened if I hadn't initially started questioning. And I went through so many cycles of questioning.
I feel that.
I first started questioning literally when I was 4. Just didn't understand why I was I had to be like that and not like this, and just friends I was attracted to, just who I wanted to play with. And that kind of continued for 20 years. Yeah. And each cycle I just was no, I'm not ready to transition. No, I'm not ready to transition. And then once I finally said, okay, I'm ready to do it, it just kind of propelled itself.
Yeah.
Things have been really tough along the ways, but nothing has been as big of a mental hurdle to get over for me.
Yeah. So I remember coming out to myself and becoming okay with the idea that medical transition was something that was necessary for me was a huge hurdle. I was really depressed, I think, before my brain brought that up as this is the reason you're depressed. And we had recently gotten a cat, and I had this specific memory of we'd had the cat for 2 days, and I was laying on the floor playing with this kitten, just and then processing this is actually something I'm gonna have to do, and all of these unknowns, and politically that was just before the 2016 election, and so that was a very stressful environment to have those thoughts. And it was just, but after that day I was just all right, let's do this, come hell or high water. I'm gonna be a man.
I honestly, right around the 2016 election, so at that time I had been straight, straight identifying. I'm not sure if I was straight passing, but straight identifying, and only straight acting. So around that time I was okay, maybe I'm interested in guys, and I started seeing some guys at the time. And then the 2016 election, I was wow, shit, this is gonna suck if I'm bi or gay, or feel mostly gay or something. And then a little bit of time passed. Well, actually, what happened is one of those guys, I was for some reason I was just rambling about trans issues and how I was so impressed and just so amazed that they could go through such a beautiful transformation. They're They're like, bro, like, are you trans? Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, no,
that's
not at all, not
yeah.
at all. But since, like, that kind of reignited one of those, like, questioning cycles again. And at the end of that one, I said yes, like, I'm going to transition. And it was around December of 2016. And it wasn't until July that I could, like, get on hormones and actually start medically transitioning. But as soon as I came out to myself as trans, I was like, I want to medically transition.
Yeah.
There was no doubt in my mind.
Yeah. See, I actually in college came out as genderqueer. And prior to that, before I had language about a lot of the trans issues, I described myself as loosely fitting the definition of a woman.
Okay.
And and I was like, I don't quite know what's going on with me, but there's something. And then I remember like having a conversation with my partner, who's also trans feminine, and describing certain feelings that I was having. And she just looked at me and she was like, "Babe, you're trans. Like those feelings you're describing are trans feelings, and like." You're probably going to transition at one point. And I was like, no, I don't. I think these are totally normal feelings to have.
Yeah.
But no, they're trans feelings, and yeah, it was after like around getting the cat and like coming to terms with that, and like being like, all right, this is gonna happen. The day after the election was when I came out to my work, my HR, and being like. This is a thing that's happening. And December 14th, that was November 9th, December 14th was when I got on hormones. And then February was when I came out to the rest of the office. And that I did, they frequently would have like quarterly meetings. And so I was like, that's how I want to do it. Let's get the whole company like together.
Quarterly, you just want to announce that you're trans.
Yes,
like,
pretty much.
Like, hey, yep, I'm still trans this quarter.
Yeah.
Testosterone's up, estrogen's down. Like, market's looking good.
Exactly, and like, you know, people joke about like, you know, cis people telling trans people like, "Oh, you're so brave."
Yeah.
But like, past me, like that took some guts to be like, let me assemble 60 cis people. And tell them about my gender issues. And it was good. It was very effective. I think if I would have like sent an email, people would have like had questions or like just been like, I don't know how to act. But because I like got in front of everybody and it was like this whole like bonding experience for the whole company, people were comfortable and like, okay, I respect this person and like this person needs support and I want to be there for them. So
just for context, how old are you?
I am 25 now. I turned 25 last week.
Cool.
Yeah.
So just for the viewers, like that's age range we're working with. I'm 23 and I came out at my job like 4 months after I started hormones. I came out to my parents 2 months after I started hormones. That was, it was to the point where I was like, I don't know how I'm going to see them again until I come out. And everything like that. So, yeah, it actually went really well, so.
Yeah, I was 3 months on hormones after or when I came out to my parents. And that was after I'd come out at work, and it happened on my birthday last year, so that was, you know, totally something I was talking to my therapist about for 8 months afterwards.
Oh my god. I hate birthdays, just as a side note, I fucking hate my birthday.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But one, they thought I had a cold, or that I had gone out and was, like going to a concert or something and was screaming. They were like, "We notice your voice is changing." I was like, "Yeah, just a cold." And I didn't want to come out on my birthday because I didn't want to have that memory, but it happened. They initiated a conversation about a hypothetical conversation about trans people's right to use the bathroom in public.
Oh my god.
And in the middle of that screaming match, one of my parents asked me, "So wait, are you trans now?" And I was like, "You know what? Actually, yes. I'm 3 months on testosterone."
That's like that is just oh my god! Like, why is there no trans people would make such good movie? Our lives are so dramatic.
Right, like
Our lives are so dramatic. Oh my god! It's like that's soap opera level. It's like
I know, and it was hilarious. Like,
oh my gosh!
Because I was living with my partner and another roommate at the time,
Yeah.
and she told my roommate, you know, Andy's been gone a long time. It either went really well or really poorly.
Yeah.
And I came home and was like, well, I'm out to my parents, and I was like, called it.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jesus. Yeah, that's like, like
You can't make it up. Like,
yeah,
you can't
really
make this
can't.
stuff up.
You really can't. Like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
And then, you know, after that happened, it was like, well, I can be out everywhere. Like, I have no fear about anybody finding out, like, anything. Getting my name changed was, like, such a relief. And I know that's, you know, you have stuff to talk about with that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I can give the floor to you if you want
Yeah,
to.
thank you for the segue.
Yeah.
Like, you can't write it, but whatever. That was a weird thing to say. That was really odd. Okay, regardless, yeah, name change. I actually got my name changed yesterday, so that's what happened. But when I did it, so I didn't want to deal with any of the paperwork. I hired a lawyer to do the whole thing, and they're like, "Oh, well, like you have this affirmation of gender letter, like we can get the gender changed too."
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, I go up there, like the court date thing, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, "All right, so you wanna, to like for a little context, like it's not just you and the judge. It's not like when I got a speeding ticket in high school and it was just like the judge like, you have to pay $75 and go to driving school. Like, no, it was like me with a bunch of people who had like family disputes behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously the only trans person there, a bunch of really old lawyers who staring me down. I go up there and they're like, so like, you want to change your gender? Like you were born a man.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be like, yeah. Or I just had to say yes to like all these things that they were asking me about.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were like, well, like, where's the paperwork for you having completed the surgery? And I'm like, well, like, still like preoperative phase of that. Like
They asked you that?
yeah. And they're like, well, we're not going to grant it. So, other thing on the docket for you, like, and like, you want to get your name changed to Jacqueline? I'm like, yeah. And I was just like, started crying at that point because they were like, yeah, we're not gonna change your gender marker, but we can change your name.
Mm-hmm.
So like I like just kind of shut down
Uh-huh.
completely after that. I left the courtroom because whatever, and I hadn't gotten my name changed yet,
Mm-hmm.
and there was like this side room, and I just went in there and just like started crying, bawling my eyes out, and this other lawyer came in. He was like, "Oh, I know how hard it is. Like, I work with transgender athletes. Like,
Mm-hmm.
really sorry about this." And it was just like, and I could like kind of see it in the judge's eyes that she knew what she just did or had to do was like fucked up. Or it was like she had to follow the rules, and it was all just like made everyone feel horrible. But it's still the fucking rule that's in place.
Mm-hmm.
But I went back in there, like, now my makeup's a mess,
Yeah.
looking horrible, everyone knows I'm a tranny.
Yeah.
Excuse my use of the word, I'm using it there just because I was feeling like, yeah, whatever. And I was like, yeah, I want my name changed. So everyone in the room was just like, oh, look, a boy named Jacqueline now. Beautiful.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, cool.
Yeah. I didn't even bother with going through the court for my gender marker change.
Mm-hmm.
got my name changed, and my perspective on it was that when people are looking at my ID, they're not going to be. No one really looks at the sex. Like, I mean, maybe people do. I didn't feel like it was going to be an issue for me to move through the world, but having a woman's name on all of my credit cards and things was becoming an issue. And like, I had this experience at a Mexican restaurant with this like 16-year-old who didn't know any better. She asked me my name. I told her Andrew, and I guess she was like unsure of how to spell it, and so then she like checked the name on my card, and then she was like, oh, birth name, and then like typed in my birth name for the order, and then they called my birth name for the order, and luckily I'm with a feminine presenting person that can like we can trade identities when need be.
Yeah, that's helpful.
Yeah. So like she took that, but I was just like not feeling good after that.
No, fuck.
But I got my gender marker changed on my ID. There's a form that you can get filled out from your doctor they just say like, yes, this person is transitioned enough to earn that.
Well, and that's what I had.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's exactly what I had, and that's what they denied me with.
I didn't go through the courts at all. I just went straight to the DMV.
Okay.
So, yeah, that would be
I'm
something.
gonna try that.
Yes.
Yep. The loopholes of being trans.
Yes.
You just gotta know that community knowledge type stuff, I guess. You know?
And I mean, and with all of my like ID trans stuff, like I asked around like, where is the DMV that is going to make this easy? Because I'd had like shitty experiences with other DMVs, like being like, oh, well, we're not going to give you a new picture.
Yeah.
And like not allowing my partner to like take a new picture. And I like contacted the Department of Revenue and confirmed that there was no reason we should not have been able to get a new picture, and went back to that particular DMV and like chewed them out. That was like there's no reason for that. Like it's just you're just being bullies at this point.
Yeah, exactly. And like, yeah, some people just. I think there's a lot of people who feel really frustrated with their lives out there, and trans people have been made an easy target, or the people in power have said like, you can pick on trans people, like just go for it, like
that's what it seems like sometimes.
Yeah, like I don't know, like it is very frustrating dealing with people online because like I don't pass, I blend more. I feel like so like if you just see like my avatar on an online picture or something, like you'd be like, oh, like probably girl, whatever. But like if I ever interact with anyone online, they always like dig into it and find out, and that's frustrating. But like yeah, it's just like the
Do you see yourself ever wanting to be stealth?
No, not really.
I don't either.
It's more of like they make it a point to try to make me feel shitty about this thing. So like I'm just like, okay, like I have to develop coping mechanisms just because people in the world want to be mean. Like 1 second.
Just gonna take a moment to reset the camera.
All right, let's redo that. 3, 2, 1. All right, cool. I did it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. People be mean for whatever reason that they can, and being mean to someone for them being trans is really juvenile.
It is. Yeah, I mean, and like, I mean, for anything.
Yeah.
Trans included. I feel like there's this like threshold that trans people have to pass, like cross over, in order to like be considered valid enough in their gender. Like I feel like people didn't take me seriously as a guy until I was passing. And like I'm still just as much of a guy now as I was then. You know, my voice changes and my facial hair don't make me any more of a man than I was in the beginning. Like I feel
Yeah.
the same in my gender. It's just now I fit societal expectations of what a man is supposed to be.
Yeah, and like I think the very foundational, I think passing is just hugely problematic. Just
Yes.
like because like you passing more as a man doesn't have any bearing, but like it impacts your interaction with the world and your like quality of life so much that like I mean, I hate it because I feel like passing kind of tears apart the trans community. Like,
Yeah.
because people who see other people and feel like, oh, they have passing privilege, like, there's that jealousy, that bruise, because, like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah. And
it's totally just imposed. Like,
yeah. For me, like, honestly, like, my medical transition was more about being able to move through the world the way that I wanted to than it was about my own body. Like, I like the things that hormones have given me, and when I get top surgery, I think I'm going to like that. But if we lived in a world where I could be validly seen as a man, I don't know if it would have been as urgent for me.
yeah. I mean, I think for me, I still would have done HRT complete, like, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But bottom surgery wise, like, kind of a toss up.
Yeah.
But just because of the interaction I had yesterday with the courts and everything, like, I'm leaning more towards like, yeah, just go ahead and do it. Like, granted I have started like doing what needs to be done to get the surgery anyway, so like I kind of had already made up my mind.
Mm-hmm.
But if I hadn't wanted that, but it had been so imperative to me that I be able to have like female gender marker, like, and through the courts was the only given way, I kind of see it as like a cruel and unusual punishment.
Yes.
To force someone to change their body in a way that they don't want to in order for them to stop being discriminated against.
Right.
Like,
I agree completely with
like-
that. It's, yeah.
yeah, we shouldn't be prisoners in this country just because of how we're born. Like,
Right.
So.
And I mean, if those are the options that were given me, like, I would just have a female gender marker. Like, I had like a month of like wanting top surgery, or not top surgery. I do want that, but bottom surgery. I had like a month of like not being okay with my junk, and you know, maybe down the line, things might change. But at this point, like, that is that is a hard no. Like, just thing that I don't really want. And if I had to get that to get a male gender marker, I just wouldn't get it.
I'm in a different boat than you, because for me, having a female gender marker is very much a safety issue.
Yes.
So, like, I'd rather have to mutilate my body than be dead. So
Yeah, and that's very fair, and
that's kind of the trade-off that I feel like I'm placed on more so.
yeah,
So-
yeah, and that definitely speaks to the differences between trans feminine and trans masculine experiences.
Yeah, like, as a trans woman, like, I've experienced what it is like to have male privilege, but as I've transitioned, I've lost pieces of that progressively. And just as, like, losing anything that gives you security makes you feel insecure, like, I think I have at least right now, a pretty strong sense of insecurity about my place in the world and whatnot. I don't know how it is, like, gaining male privilege. Like, do you feel more secure, or does it have any effect?
I feel safer moving through the world.
Okay.
Like, I feel comfortable walking down the streets of St. Louis City at night. I feel like my opinions are taken seriously at work, and like I'm given qualities that I haven't had to do as much to earn. Like I'm seen as a leader, and people, I'm being told that, like a leader, that I'm responsible, that I'm like driven, confident, and I mean I have gained the confidence since I've been able to transition and like be my authentic self, and like people just naturally perceive men as more confident and authoritative and like
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely felt myself being seen. People are always surprised when I'm good at things now. That's a new thing for me to experience. Like, oh wow, like, especially not only when I show people music, but I show people music a lot, so I get a lot of feedback on music and stuff. And I get like, oh wow, that's not total shit. I'm like, why do you think I would waste your time by showing you something that's total shit? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, and that was never like, I hadn't got that response from people before in the past. I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah.
I also like I notice how much I'm not sexualized anymore. Like I'm taken seriously as like a person with intellect and feelings, and not just like, men of all ages seeing me as an object.
Yep. Any guy who agrees to listen to my music is only doing it so that they can send me a dick pic. Like, so they can be like, oh, like, I've had a conversation. So I try to take advantage of that window, right? Like, where they agree to listen to music, but like, right before they send a dick pic, and I just like, kind of ninja move, like, ha, you listened to my song, and now you're not going to send me a dick pic.
Yeah.
Just try to figure that
And
whole one too out.
unmatched.
Exactly, like, bam, bam. So,
I dig it.
yeah.
Yeah. I think, I'm trying to think of other milestones throughout my life, or at least my transition. I think like getting a solid beard was like a milestone for me,
Yeah.
and that was like, because my voice and I wanted a beard. Like those were the things when I was going on T. That was like, those are the things I want. And I got really lucky that I got a beard so quickly, because I know like dudes that are 4 years, 5 years on T that have like a little bit of chin hair.
You have more of a beard than I ever had. Like, it was pathetic. Like, for me, a big one is like a little bit, like, granted, it's like a nothing, but it's like something and it's sensitive, so hooray. Another milestone for me I know is going to be in September when I have FFS. I'm super excited about that.
Nice.
So,
Cool.
yeah. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
And for me, looking forward, top surgery will be a milestone in my future. I, like, literally 3 days ago, I think at this point, got on health insurance that includes trans-related surgeries. So I'm going to be starting the process of pursuing that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that through Starbucks?
Yes,
Yeah.
that is
Okay.
through the Coffee Corporation.
The Coffee Corporation of America, the Trans Coffee Corporation of America.
Yes.
Like, Starbucks has a hiring strategy where they want to just collect all trans people.
It seems like it, yes.
Like, I know, I would say most of my trans friends work at Starbucks or have worked at Starbucks.
Yeah.
Like, they have some affiliation to Starbucks. I actually have a Starbucks, like, barista gown. Is it a barista gown? Is that what
Apron?
Apron. A Starbucks apron in my laundry. And I've never worked at Starbucks. It's just I'm trans. Starbucks stuff is just all around.
Yep.
Yep. Shout out to Starbucks for taking care of our health care.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, just pay us more.
Yes. So yeah, something I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
But yeah, do you have anything to close with or anything else to add?
I don't really know. Like, I think like, what do you guys want to hear about? You know?
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely. Tell us about your milestones.
Yeah, for sure.
Tell us about what you're looking forward to, what you want us to talk about.
Yeah, like, I'm really excited. We had planned this before, but I'm really excited to talk about toxic masculinity and just like we're gonna like sit down and kind of come up with a list, like, and then since like I came from that, being immersed in that, like I want to kind of do a tough thing and like list out like where, like in my life, like I exhibited toxic masculinity and then like recognized it, and like how transition has like been a factor in like being able to kind of, I don't know, correct that in some sense, hopefully.
Yeah, and that was like, as I was transitioning, something that I was very anxious about keeping myself, because I very much consider myself a feminist and did not want to like turn into a douchebag as I grew a beard. So it's something that I've thought about a lot as well.
Yeah, so next time look forward to that episode. We're going to have it's going to be a good episode, hopefully. It's going to be the best episode. We're going to make episodes great again.
Yes.
Like, is that okay to say? Like, I'm a leftist, like that. Like, can I say it's okay can I make things great as a leftist? Like, I want to make things great.
We're gonna reclaim that.
Okay,
we're gonna reclaim making things great again.
Yeah, because like that is a catchy, like,
it is.
It's super catchy.
It's very marketable.
Yeah. It's just not gonna be gilded and bullshit.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like super organic and natural.
Amen.
Exactly.
Great.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Follow us, tweet us, comments.
Yeah, that's Queer Coffee Talk. I'm Jacqueline.
And I'm Andy.
Yeah.
See ya.
See you till next time.
Yep.
See you next time, not see you till next time. We won't see you until next time. But we will see you next time.
Yep. All right.
Take care. Bye.
See ya.